Robin.
Good morning. Good fucking morning. Man, am I one annoyed motherfucker today. I am annoyed. Most people don't care, I guess, because, they just skip through life with their shoelaces untied, not worrying about our rights. I am so fucking annoyed at this legislation that's going in place in New York State. The strictest, toughest gun legislation in the country. Mario fucking Cuomo, whatever his name is, Jr. I have no idea. That motherfucker. And everyone else in this state, this knee-jerk fucking do nothing as far as crime goes legislation. I don't even know what I have to do anymore. Apparently, last night around midnight, when everyone's snoozing, they passed legislation for this assault weapon ban.
All right.
Ooh, you motherfucker. When everyone snoozes, real fucking nice. I was able to fucking start reading this legislation when it was being voted on. They never put this shit out for the people to read before it gets voted on. We are fucked as a nation, people. Fucked. This government does not work for us anymore. It's all about them enslaving us. Try not to pay your taxes. They'll jack them up as high as they want. Try not paying them. You know what happens? You fucking go to jail. There's no opt-out. You don't have a choice. There's no choices. Go against anything they put in place, whether you like it or not, and you'll go to jail. That's freedom? Fuck this place. Ugh! So they put in place this legislation. This fucking assault weapons ban.
Very needed.
Shit. Ugh! It's not, Jimmy. It's not going to do anything as far as crime goes, as far as protecting the people, safety, nothing. This will do nothing. Did you see that savage beast that was in the backseat of a fucking town car that shot the driver 3 times? It was in the news yesterday. There was a picture of him. Hoodies up, yo! There he was in the backseat. Hoodies up! With his revolver in his hand. Shooting a fucking driver. 3 rounds out of a revolver. That's all it takes. And that's the majority of the crime that's going on. This feel-good bullshit. Get reelected. Cuomo using it so he could run for president. Bullshit. And that's what's going on. So now there's this assault weapons ban where I don't even know what the fuck I gotta do. I own a fuckload of assault weapons. Does that make you feel good out there?
Do you have a lot of assault weapons?
Yes! I own...
You're making a very good case.
I know! All right, look. I'm angry. I'm not crazy, but I'm very mad. I'm very mad at this because, again, me, one of the highest tax-paying fucking saps in this state and in this country, is being fucked over. Now I gotta pay, and I'm responsible for other people's fuck-ups and bullshit. I own assault weapons, which classified as assault weapons. They're not. They're semi-automatic rifles. Stop. Stop it already.
So what does the legislation say?
As far as I know right now, a semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine and a pistol grip type grip. So it means any gun that doesn't have, the old wooden shoulder stock without a hand grip on it, and plus 1 military-style accessory, which means, a fucking optics rail, or the thing that keeps the barrel from heating up so you could fucking hold it in the front, or a muzzle suppressor, flash suppressor, not a silencer, a flash suppressor, a bayonet lug, just in case you want to go into a bodega and bayonet charge the guy behind the counter and rob him. Oh boy, that happens all the time.
Are you for or against the legislation?
It's a fair question.
That's pretty funny. You fucking asshole. I know his name's Andrew Cuomo. Leave me alone. But he's Mario Jr. to me. Another fucking lib cocksucker. So now, they're limiting magazines also to 7 rounds instead of the 10 which it was. And the 30 that it was if I have a assault weapons ban from 1994 magazine. It's 30 rounds. Now, I don't know what the fuck even to do with those.
Get rid of them.
Do I throw them out? Do I get arrested if they find them in my garbage pail? Do I have to destroy them? Do I have to take them down to the fucking precinct and pay $20 each to have them fucking registered and destroyed? More money that's going to come out of my fucking pocket for doing nothing, for being a law-abiding citizen that walked the line, that towed the line. I'm not the savages. And I got to register all of my assault weapons within a year. I don't even know what that means. When I bought them, I filled out a fuckload of paperwork. It went to the government. It went to state. They know I own them already. I had to get a security check a background check every time I bought one. It's already there. It's already there. I already did it. Stop it already. And then my pistols, what do? No, I don't. My MP5, fucking semi-automatic MP5. What is that? Is it a pistol? Is it a rifle? 30-round mag on that? 7-round mag? They don't make them. 10-round mag? I have one, but I can't get you that.
This whole opening sounds like the opening to a film, and we pull back, we realize you're alone in a room. Just fucking, and your hands are cuffed behind your back, and you're just screaming.
I don't know what this is. I know one thing. It's not going to do anything to curb crime or to make people safer. Nothing. Ammunition? What? If I buy over a certain amount, they're going to what? Get in touch with me? Is that what it is?
Sure.
Yeah.
How many rounds?
How many rounds? I think after 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
You don't need more than 3.
That's good.
Suspicious amount.
Handgun and assault rifle owners will require to recertify their permits every 5 years. Well, I have to recertify my pistol permit every 5 years anyway.
Now everything.
Well, now everything.
But I don't have a permit for rifles because they're not. You don't have to have a permit for rifles.
Probably now.
You should.
Well, this is great because I'm sure this is all free of charge. I'm sure when you go to the precinct with your various rifles and whatnot, that they're just going to be like, all right, hey, bring them in, people. We'll just, pay these officers to chalk up the fucking multitude of people here that have assault weapons in New York State. Free of charge. No, more money that's going to be sapped, leached from the law-abiding citizens that are exercising their Second Amendment right will now be fucked in the ass again. Again. Oh, my fucking God. And this is before even the federal shit starts with Blobama. Because he's going to get in there, as he said in his press conference. And, if Congress doesn't want to work with him, he's just going to sign off on whatever the fuck he pleases. Like he's done with everything else. Whatever. I'm just going to use my executive privilege here and sign off on shit. I am disgusted. You all deserve it, you fucking sheep. You all deserve it. Good. God, do I hope in 20, 50, 100 years, whatever it may be, this fucking government just tries fucking you, even worse, for something you want. And you turn around and go, what do I do? All our guns are gone. They allowed me a pea shooter and a fucking wrist rocket.
Like, let's just say that they wanted to limit the purchase of ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what regular people would be irritated about.
Exactly. All the fat sows out there. All you fat fucking pigs out there. My ice cream. This is my right to eat my ice cream. Well, you're still allowed vanilla. We're not infringing on your right to eat ice cream. We just think there should be reasonable restrictions so you can have vanilla. And if you have chocolate, it must be registered with Haagen-Dazs every 5 years. But strawberries out of the question.
No Rocky Road?
No Rocky Road! That's assault ice cream. Oh, what am I gonna do? I have no idea what to do. I got a fucking safe full of guns!
Is Texas looking better?
I swear to you, if I did not own a wonderful house that I'm paying a mortgage on, and I've put a lot of work and effort into before New York really started fucking people, I would move to Pennsylvania and commute. I would abso-fucking-lutely move right over the little border from Jersey or whatever and live in Pennsylvania and fucking commute. Because I've had it with this state. The taxes I'm paying are astronomical. They go up every fucking year, and every right I have goes down every year. This is an abomination. The government of the people for the... Fuck you! It is not abomination. It's an abomination. And now, I'm 7-round magazines. Where do you get that? That's a freak number. What do you do with a 7? Where do I get a 7-round mag?
They'll probably make them. That'd be a brand new business.
Make them more available.
Yeah.
They know. Here's what it is. They know that there would be a big outcry if they just wanted you to have 5-round mags. They make 5-round magazines. They make 10-round magazines. They make 20-round. They make 30-round magazines. They make 50-round magazines.
How about 7?
No, they don't make a 7-round magazine. So now they know that if 10-round magazines are illegal, and you say 7-round mags, you're going to have to go to a 5-round mag. So this, in essence, is a 5-round magazine law.
That sounds good.
They don't make 7-round mags.
5 will be enough, though.
Yeah, more than enough.
Oh, watch me. I will load up 1,000 5-round magazines.
Just out of spite.
Just out of spite. I'm going to go to the range and make a video of me firing off 5-round mags, dropping the mag, throwing another one in, and just railing off round after round. And watch what it does. It'll do nothing. And that's for someone that wants to commit a crime, but wants to adhere to the 5-round magazine law. No one's going to do that.
Probably get you on a watch list or something.
That's right.
You can buy 30-round mags in other states, in other countries, and illegally have them mailed to you. Because if you're going to watch, because if you're going to commit a fucking crime, you don't give a shit.
How do you get them to mail it to you, though?
You fucking go online.
How will they? Won't they get in trouble for mailing across state lines?
No, they don't give a shit. Or out of the country. Look, I'm fucking sending from Mexico. I'm going to order from Mexico and order 30-round mags, and then they'll come across state line where all of a sudden it becomes a Class D felony. But what do you think a guy that wants to fucking shoot up anything with 30 rounds at a clip is going to give a shit that he's got a Class D felony for a fucking 30-round mag? That's why I'm saying this will do nothing.
I wonder if you'll be banned from going to those websites because one of the other things is no internet ammunition sale.
Oh, well,
that
I
makes
guess.
sense.
Yeah.
I guess that's fucking. Well, that'll get him. That'll get him.
Like gambling.
That's right.
This does
Napster.
nothing. Nothing. This will do nothing. It's to make Cuomo look like he's doing something so he can run for president. It's to get more revenue out of the people that are actually the law-abiding citizens that are exercising their Second Amendment right. That's what this is about. This isn't really about safety. First of all, rifles aren't used in crime. They're not fucking used in crimes in this state, in this country. It's something like 300 rifle deaths a year in this country. Some of those aren't murders. They're not fucking, they're rifle deaths. Out of that, in New York State, how many are used and how many are considered assault rifles? This state, it's pistols, and it's fucking an average of 3 rounds are used in the commission of crimes where guns are used and fired. 3 rounds. What does that mean?
That means the 7 is too many. The government's being too lenient with these 7 magazine. You're right.
And those 5-round clips will be more than enough.
Absolutely. They should make it 3.
3-round clips.
No one walks around with an AK-47 or an AR-15 and robs a place or lights up a fucking cab driver or anything like that. It's just not done. You have the occasional nut that shoots up schools or fucking malls or anything like that, but they're not going to adhere to these rules. Believe me. This shit will still happen. And when it still happens after they've put this legislation through, they'll put more legislation through. And it still won't do anything until they've reached their goal, which is, by the way, disarming the American people. Disarming them. To have this European fuckwad government in this country that these liberal Democrat cocksuckers want. And even the Republicans in New York have fucking given up and sucked their Democrats' cocks so they could get reelected. Because the media has just completely bamboozled New York and the American people on what these guns are. Had it. Well, welcome to the show. Hey, look at the phones. They're all lit up. We never take calls. Why not? Let's just go down from line 1. I don't care.
All right, Jimmy.
Hi,
Jimmy.
I'm right here.
Oh,
Hi, Ann.
Jim, not
Hi,
you.
Sam.
Jimmy, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up, boys? Thanks for taking my call. I know normally you don't take them.
Yeah.
But do they really think the fucking gangbangers are going to sit online, go to the precinct, and hand their guns in and get the proper permits? No. It's guys like you and I that are going to do that. So what the fuck is it going to do? Like you've been saying all morning, to help America. It's going to do nothing. Cocaine's illegal, but I'm going to do a hell of a lot of it this weekend. We're going to get it.
There you go.
If I want it, we're going to get it,
There's
correct?
already laws against things, and they're still out there, and they're still brought in.
The people they're targeting, though, are not gangbangers on this one. This is not about gangbangers. Because when you look at it,
No, it's about people that are even less inclined to kill people than gangbangers.
No, but it's about people who do. They don't give a fuck about that type of street crime. They're not going to go this crazy for that kind of street crime.
Uh-huh.
This is because when it's happening, and I understand why people are suburban schools, and again, those are white guy crimes. This is targeting the possible white guy. They're not looking at ghetto crimes or fucking gang. That's not what they're doing with this.
Well, they are still going to get their hands on whatever they need to kill a lot of people if that's what they're inclined to do.
Probably, yeah.
Whether it's a gun, whether it's a fucking propane canister with flares tied to it, whether it's a car driving through a fucking playground, they're still going to be able to do what they're inclined to do because they're crazy people and they're not adhering to the laws.
It's going to do nothing. Guys like you, me.
Nothing.
It's going to be horrible for us.
Nothing.
Horrible.
Thank you,
man.
Jimmy.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Eric in Colorado. Eric in Colorado, my good friend. How are you, sir?
Hello, Mr. Anthony.
Hi.
Hey, on January 2nd, the state of Wyoming introduced legislation, I believe it's House Bill 1040. It will make it illegal for any law enforcement personnel in the state of Wyoming to enforce any federal assault weapon ban.
Yeah, I saw that.
The officer can lose his job, be fined, and go to jail for enforcing it.
Yeah, that will go to court, though, and
What takes?
I don't know.
Is it the state or is it federal that's more powerful?
Exactly. The federal government's going to step in.
Wyoming has a history of telling the federal government to go fuck themselves.
So does Texas.
Like Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm seriously contemplating relocating to the 90 miles north to Wyoming.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, thanks, man.
Don't panic, sir.
I'm so panicked. What do we got here? Good old Frank. Frank was better. Frank, North Carolina.
Hey, Anthony. Oh, man, I moved out of New York. I'm from Smithtown originally.
Oh, yeah?
I moved out of New York in 2004, and I am loving it.
I bet. North Carolina.
I got a gun show I'm going to this weekend to buy up the last of what I need. I mean, I can get a silencer if I want over here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What are you going to use that for?
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I own a business. And, we have protection laws over here. If somebody is in my driveway and I feel threatened and I shoot the shit out of them, there's no questions asked. They were on my property.
Well, I'm sure there's a few questions that'll be asked, sir. I'm sure there's a few questions that the police might want to know who the gentleman is and what he was doing.
Yeah, what if it was just somebody lost and they were going to knock on your door because they needed to use the phone?
They might ask that question.
Jehovah's Witness.
All right, Frank, enough of you. Jesus Christ, you crazy person.
Tom in Belmore.
Tom!
Yes, Anthony. Howard, good morning. How are you guys?
Hi, sir.
I live in Belmore. I own a Sega 12. I have 4 5-round clips and 2 10-round clips. Now what the hell do I do with my Sega 12?
I think you get rid of your fucking 10-round clips. You keep your 5s, and register your fucking weapon.
That's right.
With someone. I don't even know who I'm supposed to register this with.
Well, the other question I have, if you don't mind, is I have an SKS, which is an older version with a 10-round it doesn't detach, and a 30-round detachable clip.
I think it doesn't matter. From what I read so far, and I haven't read through it really well, but I think it's detachable and non-detachable mags if they're 10 rounds. I don't know. I don't know. This shit, they all slid it past everyone in the wee hours of the fucking morning. What kind of shit is that? I mean, at least be
late into the evening.
Open and honest with the people. Cocksuckers.
It just goes to show you where the government in New York is going and how many rights are going to be taken away even more so.
Exactly. You know what? Just fucking keep feeding into the savages, and the actual people that produce and pay attention to the laws get bent over and fucked in the ass. Wonderful.
Well, the big question is, why isn't anybody addressing the black thug culture?
Because that's not what this one, dude. That's not what this one is about.
No,
it's weird. Hold on. Because it's not what it's about. They react harshly like this when it's white people's lives. They really do.
310 people in Chicago alone were killed in shootings, and no one said a fucking word.
The government does not react this harshly to fucking gangbanger deaths. They just don't.
20 kids and teachers get shot, and all of a sudden, now they're going to do something.
Exactly. But that's what it's about.
Like what you said before, Anthony, though. It's not an assault rifle. An assault rifle has a selective switch.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, the media...
They got to get their information correctly.
The Democratic, the liberals, and the media have just fed into the people's perception of what this assault weapon is. Most people honestly think it's a fully automatic machine gun that you can buy at any Walmart. You walk in and you buy a machine gun, and there's no check, there's no nothing. You just start shooting like crazy.
Oh, I don't agree with
that.
It's not. That's very dangerous.
Well, that isn't
it?
I got to go, but I love you guys.
All right.
Well, good. Well, good. You go. You go. Yes. Guns that only take 10-round mags. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
pick up.
Yes. What's up, my friend? Nick.
Yeah, what's up, man? Hey, man, so this is the thing. They make guns. Like, for instance, there's a certain type of AK-47 that'll only accept a single stack or a 10-round mag.
Right.
That was made to work in accordance with California and New York.
Right.
Places that had these stupid bans that I disagree with anyway. So my first question is, for people that have those, are those people going to get fucked and have to pay more taxes on those? Probably. Yeah. But hey, here's the bigger issue, man, and this is why I call. We all agree Obama sucks, or most of us do, thankfully, and not because Fox said so, but even the liberal channels are starting to catch on. My point is that this guy openly went out there and said, I'm going to circumvent Congress again.
Yeah.
Isn't that grounds to try the guy for impeachment? And no, you don't just fucking impeach a president. You try him for it.
Because the truth of the matter...
Try him?
No, because the truth of the matter is, George W. used as much executive privilege as Obama is using. He actually used just as much as Obama's using, but it's what Obama's using it for that gets me. He's using it to circumvent the fucking Constitution.
Well, and I agree.
Obama and Bush are the same guy. They're just on completely opposite ends of the.
But they're doing the same. You know, whatever you were pissed at George W. for doing, Obama's doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, that's why his signature looks like a penis ejaculating, because the guy's a fucking jerk off. That's all I got to say about it. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
All right, my good friend. I don't know. I have a gun that will not even accept a 5-round magazine or a 10-round mag. It like jams up in there. It's meant to accept a nice long AR-15 30-round mag or even a 10-round mag. But you know, what is that going to do? Is there going to be some kind of a block you could put in there? I don't think so. People read this, and if you don't know anything about guns, you go, oh, okay, that sounds good. That sounds reasonable. The second you know anything about firearms and own them and stuff, you realize it's very intrusive. It's purposefully written to keep you from owning certain types of guns and magazines and shit like that. But it sounds like, well, we're doing a great job of limiting guns to people that shouldn't have them. It's just horse shit.
They're just trying to cut down on the ability of people to walk. I mean, it's a placebo.
But they're not. It's not going to do anything.
But it's either that or take them all away. There's really not much you can do. This is the problem. This guy is dead.
Uh-huh.
He's shot himself.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. So the country is running around like a bunch of fucking angry bees because we want to lash out and do something, because that was such a fucking... That one was the worst one I can remember in my lifetime.
Yeah, of course.
That was the worst one.
Well, that's why this knee-jerk reaction and this Band-Aid that people need to feel good about themselves, like they're doing something. And to use it politically, abso-fucking-lutely, to use dead children as a political tool to fucking get reelected in the midterm elections or to run for president in 4 years. Abso-fucking-lutely. And they saw a perfect opportunity to do that with this useless gun legislation that does nothing but infringe upon the right of the people to bear arms.
Does this go farther than you thought it would, or not as far?
Further than I thought. It absolutely goes further than I thought. It redefines an assault weapon, makes it even tougher than the 94 assault weapons ban that Clinton put in place. Now it's any gun that isn't just your granddad's fucking rifle, hunting rifle. It's amazing. And these are cosmetics. These rifles that they're banning, it's simple cosmetics. They don't like the plastic attachments that go over the barrel. They don't like the pistol hand grip behind the trigger. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with the functionality of a semi-automatic rifle. Any nut could take their dad's or their granddad's shotgun or their fucking dad's or granddad's fucking semi-automatic 223 rifle and do the same damage. You know, pop in an illegal magazine, because, again, they're not going to care about the magazine if they're going to murder people, and go to town. But the second you start putting attachments on it that make it look like the weapons that are used in the military, it now becomes this thing. They're no different. They are no different. They are semi-automatic rifles. As fast as you pull the trigger, bullets fly out the barrel. Regardless if it's a wooden fucking rifle that is used for hunting or a plastic assault weapon. Same gun. But people don't think that. They think an assault weapon is this gun that is used in the wars, and they're fully automatic, and they fire these amazingly powerful bullets. It's the same gun.
So what do people do? I don't mean we. What are people supposed to do? Because this is not about street crime. The government will talk about street crime and they'll say it.
No.
The way they react to something like this, compared to all those dead in Chicago, they don't really give a fuck about gangbangers. They say they do, and they care a little, but you can't motivate the entire government to move. I don't care how many gangbanger killings there are.
Exactly.
You never get the entire government to move like this.
No.
I don't care if the president's black, he's a Republican, none of it means a fucking thing. This gets everybody moving.
Exactly.
So it's going after the people like you're talking about. It's not going after the fucking thugs. Because the thugs are killing the thugs.
Oh, they'll just keep killing each other, and they don't care. Right. There'll still be well over 300 gun deaths in your major cities, and it'll be black-on-black crime, of course.
Right, so this is not what that's about. So to go after to target what they're doing here, which is the accessibility of certain guns to that crazy element, which most people are not. But it's happened too many times. So what's the logical step?
You could say one time is too many times.
But I mean, it's happened a lot.
Statistically, it's very small. But I understand. I'm not saying, it's very small. People tell that to the parents. No, I understand. It's horrible. It's tragic. But statistically, it's very small. And when you have a country with this many people in it, and there is a freedom and a right to bear arms in this country, you're going to get people that will use them for horrible things. And unless you want to take away all of them, it's not going to do anything. It is an all or nothing thing. And if you took away all of them, there'd still be an influx of illegal weapons that bad people would still use. Occasionally, someone's going to fucking get on a highway and drive the wrong way, no matter how many signs say wrong way. It's just going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just going to fucking happen. This is not a perfect world we live in where you can prevent horrible things from happening. It's just impossible.
But people aren't going to accept that.
I know. So they make inane laws that will do nothing except prevent us from exercising our rights.
How many people would you think, you're saying statistically it's low, how many people own real hardcore assault weapons?
I don't know the exact number.
No, but I mean,
I could estimate that out of the 300 million guns that are in this country, it's I would probably say a quarter of that.
So 75 million?
At least.
So how many people do you think own them?
Probably less than that, because a lot of people own multiple guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say. So how many are actually used in the commission of these mass killings, as opposed to the amount that's out there and the amount of people that have them that aren't doing this?
It's just, you know what it is? It happens. We're so used to it. We're so used to it that this one registers. But like the 4 firemen that were killed, where were they killed up in? Where was upstate?
Yeah, it was like Buffalo, somewhere in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, like it just happens. We kind of tune it out. Like this one again, you notice, but we don't notice all the times it happens. Not even with, again, not fucking talking gang killing. Just these weird psychopaths who kill their families and go out and kill a couple cops. People just had enough, and I know that the NRA doesn't bend. I saw LaPierre's speech. They had a chance to at least get people.
Fuck that. I'm glad the NRA doesn't bend. I'm glad. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what the fucking NRA does. The government is going to do whatever the fuck they want to do to better their position in an election and to appease the masses with disinformation and horrible useless legislation.
But they're scared of the NRA. All of them are.
Not anymore.
They have too many people.
The NRA is gimpy. They have no power right now. The media has undermined everything about the Second Amendment and made the NRA, through no fault of, their own, because the NRA looked stupid too.
Terrible.
Yeah. Well, they've never had to deal with a situation like this. And when the media is pounding you and making you look like the villain, you're the villain.
I'm fucking rational, and I watched that guy, and I wanted to like what he said. I really did. And
I did too.
I was naive, and I watched him, and I was like, you fuck you.
I didn't like what he said either, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But whether they bend or not, if they bend, they would take even more. They want an open dialogue with this and that. No, they don't. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want. The government is going to fuck you and do whatever the fuck they want. Like I said, you think you're free in this state or that you're in or the country? You're not. Go do something you want to do. Go ahead. Go hunting. Go hunting for a deer to feed your family right now. Oh, it's not deer season. Oh, you didn't buy your tags. Oh, you're using a fucking weapon you're not supposed to be using. Go fishing somewhere. You want to fish to feed your family. Oh, you don't have a fucking license. You're in a place that's restricted. You don't have these freedoms. You own a house? No, you don't. You're renting that fucking property from the government. Try not paying your property taxes. They'll take your fucking house away. You can't just work, get what you want, and then decide you want to just settle down and live with what you've accumulated over your lifetime of working. Because until you drop fucking dead, you still have to pay the government for that plot of land you're on and all the shit you have and the shit you want to buy and the food you're buying. You still got to pay through the fucking nose. And again, don't, and you'll go to jail or have your shit taken away.
We do pay too much. But, the advantage is if there's a fire, somebody will show up usually.
Exactly, but it's a balancing act. And it's swung way the other way. We're fucked with our freedoms. We are not free. We live in a free country. No, you don't. You don't live in a free country. You're fucked at every turn. At every turn. Unless you want to walk somewhere, unless you want to walk from point A to point B, you have to follow so many rules, or else you'll at least get ticketed, or you might go to jail. You can't even ride a bike on certain places to get from point A to point B. How is that free? I mean, I understand.
There's restrictions.
I understand. I'm not saying there shouldn't be certain restrictions, but don't get this delusion that you're free to do whatever the fuck you want in this country. There's restrictions on everything.
What restrictions would you be for on guns?
On guns? Background checks for everybody. I fucking have no problem with that.
Now, has the NRA fought that?
In certain instances, they have fought for the state's rights to implement whatever restriction or lack thereof they want.
Okay,
so they are defending. They're not saying I'm against background checks, because if a state wants to implement background checks, that's fine. But they are not for the government saying you have to. So they will defend a state's rights to not have background checks. I, on the other hand, would love background checks for everybody.
Okay, that's one place where they could have, and that's a place where they hurt themselves. Because then people hear that, and again, I want you to be able to own your guns. I don't care. But then I look at them and I'm like, well, fuck it. You know what? Fuck. Because if they're that unreasonable, if they like, I don't want anybody to be, I don't give a fuck if they're from Pennsylvania. Again, you know, people could get anywhere they need to get very quickly. When the Constitution was written, you couldn't hop in a car and fucking go shoot somebody across state lines in 20 minutes or an hour. You know, you had to, what did they have back in the fucking 1700s?
A horse, I think.
Exactly. Who the fuck did, how many serial killers were there back? Jack the Ripper's famous. He killed 6 people.
Very.
But I mean, that's
very
how
small area for him to walk around.
But that's what serial killers did back then, or that's what that type of shit.
Yeah.
People can hop across state lines now. The whole state boundary thing doesn't mean what it used to mean.
But states' rights are one of the most important things in this country. That's why it's the United States of America, not just one fucking America. They're states that are united as a country, but they have individual state rights.
But you're right. We all use the same military, though. There are certain things that affect each other.
Federal thing, right?
And I think that most people wanting a background check on anyone buying a gun like that is reasonable.
Well,
and if the NRA doesn't think so, fuck them, and fuck any state that doesn't want background checks. Fuck them.
Well, Obama is most probably going to implement background checks for everybody, for every state, for every gun purchase that's made. I don't have a problem with that. You know why? Because I'm fine.
You'll pass every test.
I fucking am clean as a whistle, and I know that. But I don't like the fact that I keep getting more shit piled on top of me for stuff that I and the vast majority of gun owners are not doing. We're good. We're fucking fine. But whenever something happens and the hammer falls, who gets the dick in the ass? Yeah, the people that are paying attention to the rules and don't do anything wrong.
Do you know how impressed I would have been with the NRA if they would have come out when that cocksucker made his speech and said something about they want further background checks, and they tied it in with the mental illness thing. And I would have been like, yeah, all right, at least they're willing to discuss things. Nothing.
Well,
but I'm just saying, that's why the reaction, and you guys, you lose people in the middle.
Do you honestly think if the NRA would have capitulated on anything that they were talking about, that New York would have not passed this exact same gun legislation?
You probably would have.
The exact same.
But what would have happened was, again, it's the tone of the country. Everybody is so upset and frustrated about this one. This was a terrible one. They misread that. And they did nothing to stop that fucking swell. Like, they might have been able to, it's like a weird mentality, like when they're going after obscenity. When there's a conservative in there, the whole fucking tone, you can feel it.
Yeah.
With this one, that's what that is. They should have read that a little bit better. I'm not saying they would have stopped New York.
I don't think it would have stopped New York, and I don't think it would have stopped whatever the fuck Obama is going to do with Biden's fucking recommendations. That of course, whenever asked by the media to comment on what Biden's recommendations were or what the fuck they're looking to do, they don't even fucking mention it. This.
Would you want Biden explaining your gun position if you were the president?
No, I wouldn't. But I'd want somebody else that he's speaking with. See, because this is what happens, and it's not just the gun shit. Believe me, It's not. Take guns out of the mix. Whenever the government wants to fuck you, at 0 hour, they fucking sign this shit without anyone having seen it. Someone tweeted me this bill at probably 9 o'clock last night, and it was signed at midnight.
Working hard. Good government.
How about you let the people read the fucking thing before it's voted on like that? It's deceptive. It's deceptive politics. They know they're doing it on purpose because they know it would cause outrage. And it's done with everything, not just gun legislation. It's whenever the government wants to slide a dick in your ass, they do it in the wee hours of the fucking morning. Like that, without giving you any heads up. Like Obama gave his little press conference, and he was asked, what does this gun legislation have? Well, I'll tell you more about it when I get Vice President Biden's recommendations on it. He knows what they are already. Biden is just going to go, surprise, here it is.
You don't think Biden said, I don't want to talk about that until I have all...
Joe, what's the thing? Hey, nah, do not open till Tuesday. No, he knows, and he could have fucking spoken about it. But this is one of the least transparent governments I've ever seen, administrations I've ever seen. And the government on the whole is just fucking horribly, there's a horrible lack of transparency. Because they slip this shit by you. Because they're a bunch of fucking frauds.
Sometimes some of that stuff works, though. Like, after 9/11, there was so much... Everyone's like, oh, there's all this paranoia. And they did kind of use it to do some shit that's, all right, maybe a little bit questionable. But when you look at it, all that craziness, there has not been, and this is not going to happen here, but there's not been one terrorist attack here since then.
Yeah.
Something with all that craziness, that whole paranoia of the country, something worked. There was something that worked in that crackdown, because at that point when people were fucking fed up, I mean, literally, I'm not saying it won't happen again, but it's been 12 years and there has not been one attack on American soil.
Yeah.
And this will not work 100% like that, but this might do something. I mean, it might, like you said, you'll never know how many people an actual gunman saves when he shoots a bad guy.
Right.
You won't know how many people this might actually...
Well,
but sometimes it does work. And in the other case, it did work in the other way.
Yeah. I just don't know. I really get pissed when I just see some of my rights being taken away.
Yeah.
When I'm paying through the fucking nose, taxes and everything. I just feel like I'm being fucked and I'm paying for it. This country, like I said, it's the lack of freedoms we have. And every year it gets worse and worse with local politicians, state level, federal government. They just pile on these laws, these new laws that wind up costing you fucking money and costing you your freedoms. You're not allowed to do shit anymore. It's amazing.
You're one of the few guys, though, that will be able, or guys who are like, who make money and who shit's in order, who this is going to be an inconvenience to, and annoying.
Yeah,
but you're not going to lose anything.
In time, you do lose something. And yeah, believe me, I will go. I'll fucking get my goddamn guns registered. I'm going to go through all the hoops. And there are going to be people that aren't going to go through the hoops and register their shit. There'll be people that won't. And perhaps they'll go to the range and have to fucking have a cop next to them. And the cop will go, hey, what the fuck? What's that? Is it registered? Is that? And they'll go to jail for it. Or how about the fact that, what if my guns break? What if my fucking gun breaks? It's out of commission, thrown away, or destroyed, and I can't buy another one. That's it. So eventually, the supply gets whittled down for the legal gun owner. Illegally, guaranteed, you're going to see assault weapons illegally coming into this country and being bought by people that want them illegally. That's going to happen.
This one is not about those.
It's not going to disappear.
This one is about the legal ones that get to the wrong place. I mean, which all of them eventually...
It's a minuscule amount of crimes and killings that are committed with those guns. Minuscule. And that's where all this energy is going towards? To this fucking 0.05%. The amount of energy that's going towards this assault weapon ban, it doesn't make any sense. That's not where the problem is. It's this is feel good, re-elect me, elect me, legislation.
It's just because again, the guy who did it, we can't. We wouldn't anyway because we're too dumb to like.
Right.
Opie made a good point about what you should do. Is that guy in Colorado? I just wish some cop would pull him out of his cell and just put a bullet in his head.
Just put a bullet in his head. Stop that already with his fucking in and out of court, talking about what his defense is doing and what. Just fucking shoot him.
This is the only thing we can. What people really want to do is we want to just pull these guys out of their cells.
Yeah.
And we want to bite them. We want to tear into them, and we can't do that.
Why? Because it's in the Constitution that you can't? They're shitting all over it for fucking people that are paying attention to it. How about the fucking criminal? How about you shit on that part of the Constitution? With the right to a speedy trial and fucking against cruel and inhuman punishment. How about you fucking shit all over that part of the Constitution and blow this guy's head off while you're just using the Constitution as your own personal toilet paper? How about you use it? How about you use it that part of the Constitution?
How long is the Second Amendment?
It's very short.
It is.
Yeah.
Could you print it out?
It's very short.
Not that I don't know it by hand, but I know it pretty much by heart.
A well-regulated militia.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, is that militia?
Militia.
Oh.
Oh. Hey, militia. This guy had a speech impediment. He meant Melissa.
I knew what you meant.
Okay. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's the whole fucking thing.
That's it.
So
and it's had more people speculating and arguing as to what it fucking means.
Is there a second part to it or an add-on?
That's it.
Wow.
That's the Second Amendment.
All right,
it's a sentence with a few commas that freak people out. And a lot of people say, well, they mean the right to bear arms if you have a well-regulated militia. That's backwards. The thing says, a well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, if the people ever need a well-regulated militia, which is a call to arms of the people to combat aggressions, foreign or domestic, if you need to get together a militia, the people's right to bear arms shall not be infringed because in order to get together that militia, you need an armed populace.
But is it saying because infringed is, you can't hamper it?
Shall not be infringed.
So basically, are purists looking at that meaning you should be able to own any type of gun you want without the government being able to say a word about it?
Well, that certainly is the rub, isn't it?
But I mean, that's kind of what that...
Some purists say that, but honestly, everybody that owns a gun is into some regulation and restriction.
When this... And I know, I'm even making the musket argument. But when this was written, was there the variety of weapons that there is now?
They had a multitude of weapons. Even during the time of these people's lives before they signed this, from the time they were kids till the time they signed this, they saw the evolution of weapons. There was no doubt in these people's minds when they wrote that amendment that weaponry would continue to evolve. They knew that weaponry would evolve. They saw it in their own lifetime. So to think that they thought it would stop there, and that even though we would get these amazing weapons, that they should, not have them accessible, is silly. It's silly.
Well, even if that's what they meant, and I'm always, when I look at the Constitution, I'm always like, you got to take it for when it was written. And, and again, I think it's a great, it's what kind of keeps us free. It keeps us free. But I'm also, I don't want to have people owning any kind of weapon they want.
I don't either.
Because it's something they wrote fucking 200 years ago. I know that they knew a lot, but
I don't either.
But they didn't. They because again, they probably would have said, good, yeah, there's going to be worse weapons. Everybody keep your shit. I don't think they would have sided with me.
Yeah.
But,
they
could not have seen the crime coming. There's no way back then they comprehended this kind of fucking barbaric crime.
That.
They did not. Back then they were defending their homes. If you fucking If it was just a simpler time. It was different. They didn't have gangs murdering each other. They didn't have guys walking into schools killing 20. Can you imagine? That wouldn't have happened. If it did happen back then, it was, they probably hung the guy immediately.
Well, yeah. But the right isn't for necessarily for self-defense or for hunting. That, by the way, the hunting argument, that was just done back then. You didn't need a constitutional amendment to hunt. That was known. You were going to hunt. Self-defense, you didn't need it for that either.
Government didn't have tanks back then.
Well, yeah, but the right to bear arms is against tyrannical government. And it still works because the government isn't going to start shooting its own people knowing that they're armed. You can't just walk into people's houses because there will be bloodshed. The way to combat that as a government is to start shooting its own people. That ain't going to happen without a complete collapse of America.
Right.
If the government starts shooting their own people, there's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
So what you have is the ability, it's like a standoff. It's a standoff. Even though they have much better weaponry than we have, they don't want to use it against the people. But if the people are unarmed, they won't have to. So now with a pen, they could legislate whatever they want against the people.
I mean, this is right there. We're watching on CNN. It said that Biden wants to make gun trafficking a federal crime.
All right.
So is it not a federal crime right now?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. And trafficking from where?
Maybe
Between states?
I'm guessing between states
from other countries.
Do you disagree with making traffic? If someone's illegally trafficking guns, do you disagree with making that a federal crime?
No, it's already a crime. You're not allowed to bring a gun into New York State if it's from another state without it going through proper channels.
Does the federal angle mean that the government can prosecute you under I mean, I guess if it's like, let's say it's a state crime. And it's a very lenient state with guns.
Right.
You might not get much jail time, but if it's a federal crime, you might get a lot of jail time.
Maybe. I like harsher penalties for gun crimes. Fuck yeah. Make them really harsh. That's what I like. But, leave me alone. I'm being a good boy. I'm being a good boy.
Can you turn off this fucking E-News, please? I hate it. Oh. They're showing the fucking Golden Globes again.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sick of it.
All right. Why don't we eat?
Each other's assholes.
Yes. Why don't we eat each other's assholes?
A busy show today, too.
And then we'll come back, and I promise I'll be quiet about this now.
Bob Kelly will be here today.
Ooh.
Kevin Hart is coming. He's promoting that new reality show, which actually looks really funny on BET.
What's he doing?
It's called The Real Husbands of Hollywood.
I'll miss it.
Yeah, well, I actually
caught that channel blocked at my house.
During a Roots marathon. It literally is Kevin Hart's channel now.
Is it?
Yeah, and he's got this new reality show, and then Bernard Hopkins is going to be here later.
And we have a filmmaker here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to discuss a little bit about that. Yeah, we'll do that too. So we'll be right back.